This is an original song of mine called Curbin. I wrote it in 2002, and I've been performing it with my cover band, The Mercenaries, for a couple years now. It's a good song, but it's not a Border song, yet. Border Songs is the original album I've been working on for the past year or so. 10 tracks, 4 of which are songs from my old catalog that I just knew had to be part of this album because they already shared part of the story that this album explores. Border Songs is about staying grounded when everything around you is coming apart, watching from our own borders, trusting the pattern of collapse and rebirth that we've already seen before. Every song on this album earns its own right to speak out, clearly and unapologetically, in support of that uncomfortable rebirth. For the last few weeks, I've been working through the 4 existing songs one at a time, listening to them with new ears and figuring out what stays, what changes, and what each song needs to become before it's truly ready to be handed off to the incredible people in my musical entourage. These songs have lived alone with me for a long time, some of them since the 90s. It's time for them to leave the studio once and for all. And Curbin is the first one to take that journey. When I wrote Curbin in 2002, I had just walked away from a career that I loved. My dad had passed away at the end of 2000, and I'd spent every waking moment after that working 7-day weeks rather than deal with any of the emotions. And by the time 9/11 happened, near the end of 2001, it was all too much, and the walls I had built around me started to crack, and I burned out completely. The job, the city, the version of myself I'd been performing, all of it came to a screeching halt. And so I moved back to the suburbs, into a quiet apartment, trying to figure out what was left of me. I had a peaceful view of a courtyard on one side, calm and introspective, and on the other side, the highway, always moving, always loud, constantly calling me back to lean in and get caught in the race again. Curbin is about that highway, about feeling like you're living at a rest stop on the side of the road, front row view of everyone racing past, and trying to convince myself to stay where I was rather than getting caught up in the noise all over again. When I play covers with the Mercenaries, we do Curbin on occasion. It's a loud rock and roll highway song, and it works for the bars. But the original version has a layer to it that I haven't really discovered yet. Something a bit more chaotic and unsettling. A layer that speaks to that really uncomfortable moment in my life, back when that old version of me didn't even know whether he was going to dive back into the chaos or stand his ground and fight to finally free his troubled mind. So Curbin is the first of my originals to make the trip into Border Songs, because this album is about staying grounded, especially when everything around you is coming apart. Watching right up close as the temptation to go back to a past life brushes right up against you, but then trusting in the harder choice, and choosing the long, undiscovered road, even when the familiar noise is right there calling you back. Now, this 20-year-old song has already been performed on stage live with the Mercenaries, and I have old pre-production recordings of it kicking around. But none of that is what my buddy Phil is going to need. When you hand over a song to a professional arranger, you're not just giving him a recording and asking him to make it sound great. You're locking in the song's architecture, committing to what key it's in, the tempo, structure, and feel, the rhythm tracks that tell him where the foundation is supposed to build from, and the reference vocals that tell him what the melody is reaching for. Brothers, sisters, and brothers. Phil needs source material that he can actually build on, not a shitty demo from 2002, and not even a dirty cover version from our bar gig last month. So for the last few weeks, I've been rebuilding Curbin from the ground up. New drum tracks at the right tempo that this modern version of the song needs to thrive on, an updated bass track that holds the rhythm without crowding it, guitars that finally make the call I've been avoiding for 23 years. It's the first time I've reached for the electric in a long time, but this song demands it. New reference vocals and a rough mix that Phil can actually use to do what he does, weave his magic, and arrange this song so that my incredible band knows exactly what they're working with. This is the real work, and this song, this entire album, deserves it. These tracks are just the beginning of something greater to come, something that others are going to help me build. Now, once Phil has all of this, and he sees and hears an arrangement in his mind, then we'll know exactly what to ask all of the incredible musicians in my studio lineup. This version of Curbin is about to hit the road. I've handed off songs before, sent rough demos to my bandmates, shared session files with collaborators, but I've never handed over a song to someone whose job it is to take it somewhere that I couldn't take it myself. It's a strange feeling. The song doesn't stop being mine, but it stops being only mine. Phil is going to hear things in the song that I haven't ever heard before. He's going to make suggestions that I wouldn't make. We may have disagreements, pushing and pulling the song in uncomfortable new directions. And by the time the final arrangement is done, Curbin will sound like something more than I could have ever done alone.